Arionne Curry has done it again. Just when everybody thought the storm had passed and the drama had settled down, she came back harder than ever, shaking up the entire internet like a digital earthquake. This time she didn't come to play, she came to clear the table and call everybody out. Ex-lovers, ex-friends, producers, bloggers, and anyone who ever doubted her. It's like she woke up one morning, looked at the chaos around her and said, "Let's finish what they started." And baby, finish it she did. Out of nowhere, Arionne dropped what she called receipts, not the kind you get from the grocery store. We're talking screenshots, DMs, voice notes, and possibly even legal documents. And the way she did it was so bold, so sudden, that the internet had no choice but to stop and pay attention. She posted a string of stories on Instagram with no captions, no explanations, just pure chaos, and one line that said, "Now tell them I lied." Within minutes, her name was everywhere again. People who had sworn they were done with her were now glued to their phones refreshing her page like it was breaking news. Now, let's rewind for a second, because this didn't just come out of nowhere. This has been building for years, the tension, the silence, the shade. Ever since Arionne Curry's name first got tied to Martell Holt, her life turned into a constant storm of attention and criticism. People judged her, called her every name in the book, and painted her as the villain in a story they didn't even know the full truth about. And through it all, Arionne stayed quiet, at least most of the time. But while everyone else was talking, she was collecting screenshots, collecting memories, collecting proof. And when the time was right, she decided it was her turn to talk. The night she dropped those receipts, social media exploded. Some people claimed they saw messages that proved Martell had promised her a future, things like wedding dates and private trips. Others said the messages were old and recycled. But one thing everyone agreed on, Arionne wasn't bluffing this time. There was something different about her tone, her energy. She wasn't chasing attention, she was demanding respect. And Martell? Completely silent. No statement, no denial, no slick caption under a gym selfie, nothing. The man who usually loves being in front of the camera vanished like smoke. And that silence only made things worse. Fans started digging, bloggers started speculating, and then out of nowhere, a new claim popped up. An insider, someone who claimed to be connected to production, said those screenshots weren't just private texts between Martell and Arionne, they were part of a group chat involving a producer and a PR manager. The conversation allegedly showed people trying to control Arionne's story before filming started for the new season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. If that's true, that means the so-called villain wasn't acting on her own, she was being controlled behind the scenes, and that flipped the entire narrative upside down. Fans started calling her the puppet who cut her strings. Threads popped up online with people saying Arionne had been blacklisted by the network. Others claimed she had signed an NDA and was now breaking it, which is why her tone felt like war. Whether any of that is true or not almost doesn't matter because in the world of reality TV, perception is more powerful than facts, and Arionne knows exactly how to use perception like a weapon. Then there was that photo. Fans noticed something small but chilling. On her kitchen counter in one of her posts, there was a piece of paper with the words "settlement agreement" printed on it. It wasn't clear what it was about, but that one tiny detail sent social media into a frenzy. Was she suing Martell? Was she suing the network? Or was it just a strategic tease to keep people guessing? With Arionne, you never know. She never gives the full story, just enough to make you lean forward. While everyone was busy trying to zoom in and analyze screenshots, Arionne went live. She looked straight into the camera, smirked, and said, "It's funny how they call me crazy, but they still can't stop watching." That line alone froze the internet. It was confident, unapologetic, and it made even her haters pause. Because whether you love her or not, she knows how to play this game. The comments started flooding in. People begged her to release everything, to spill all the tea. Others warned her to be careful, saying she was poking the wrong people. But the more people talked, the quieter she became. That silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Because when you stay quiet in the middle of chaos, people start filling in the blanks themselves. And that's exactly what she wanted. Soon, blogs started claiming to have new evidence. One anonymous site posted what they called a partial transcript of a phone call between Arionne and someone labeled only as M. In the transcript, Arionne supposedly confronted this person about money, broken promises, and a deal gone bad. Was it real? Nobody could prove it. But it sounded real enough to ignite another explosion online. Fans went full detective mode, They compared voice patterns, sentence structure, and even breathing pauses, trying to prove the male voice was Martell. It became a digital crime scene, with thousands of people acting like FBI agents from their phones. Whether the audio was fake or not didn't matter. What mattered was that it felt real. And while all this was going on, production rumors started swirling. Word was that filming for the next season of Love and Marriage Huntsville had been delayed. Some cast members allegedly didn't want to film until the truth about Arionne's receipts came out. A source claimed Carlos King had to call an emergency meeting with the network to deal with the mess. Imagine that, a reality show built on drama, suddenly too scared of its own drama. But the leaks didn't stop there. Another account dropped screenshots showing payments from a PR agency in Huntsville to a consulting company linked to a woman with the initials AC. Some fans swore it was proof Arionne was paid to stay quiet. Others said it was hush money that backfired. Either way, it painted a picture of someone who was tired of being controlled and ready to burn the whole system down. Old interviews of Arionne began resurfacing, ones in where she had said she was done with the nonsense and had nothing to prove. Now those clips were being played over dramatic music with captions like, "The calm before the storm." The internet was eating it up. Comment sections turned into war zones, half the people calling her manipulative, the other half calling her misunderstood. And then came the next twist. A grainy photo of Arionne meeting a lawyer in what looked like a cafe. Fans went crazy again. Was she filing a lawsuit? Against Martell? Against the show? Or was it just a strategic tease to keep people guessing? With Arionne, you never know. She never gives the full story, just enough to make you lean forward. Then, a small, anonymous account uploaded a video that claimed to be from a former production assistant. The video said there were deleted scenes from Love and Marriage Huntsville that showed Arionne confronting Martell in front of the whole cast, scenes that never aired because they were too damaging. The video had no proof, but the shaky camera, the nervous tone, and the raw details made it believable enough to within hours it had 500,000 views. Arionne didn't confirm or deny it, but she did like a comment under the video that said, "They tried to silence her, and now they'll pay for it." That single tap of a heart button became headline news. People took it as confirmation that the video was real. The ripple effect was instant. Melody posted something cryptic. The truth always comes to light. Letitia Scott shared an Instagram story about keeping your circle clean. The shade was flying everywhere. Fans started speculating that the entire cast was panicking behind the scenes. Everyone was waiting for Arionne's next move. Because at this point, she wasn't just seen as the other woman anymore. She was now the woman with power, the one holding the receipts that could destroy reputations. Whether the receipts were real or not didn't even matter anymore. The narrative had already shifted in her favor. Every gossip blog was updating by the hour. YouTube commentators were going live debating whether Arionne was a victim or a mastermind. News outlets started covering it like a full-on investigation. And through it all, Arionne sat in silence, calm, unbothered, watching everything unfold. Then late one night, she posted a 6-second video sitting in her car. The caption read, "Only one thing. TikTok." That was it. No context, no words, no explanation, just TikTok. Within minutes, fans went wild. Everyone was convinced it was a countdown to her next drop. Some thought she was about to release recordings, others said she was about to sue. And just like that, she had the whole internet wrapped around her finger again. Then things took a legal turn. Gossip pages began claiming that documents had been filed in Madison County, listing both Martell Holt and a network affiliate as defendants in a complaint involving character defamation and breach of verbal agreement. No one could verify the documents, but screenshots of them started spreading like wildfire. Each version looked slightly different, but the captions were the same. Arionne finally takes legal action. And then finally, Martell broke his silence. But it wasn't the dramatic comeback people expected. It was a black screen on Instagram with the words, "Some things aren't worth responding to, the truth always wins." That was it. No names, no explanation, nothing. But by then it was too late. His silence had already cost him control of the story. Because in this era, silence doesn't protect you. It lets everyone else write your story for you. And Arionne had already written hers loud and clear. A few hours later, another anonymous account leaked a voice recording. It was supposedly between Arionne and a man. People believed it was Martell again. The audio talked about payments, agreements, and something called the deal they thought I'd forget. Whether it was real or not, it sounded convincing. And the internet doesn't wait for facts. Fans crowned Arionne the Queen of Chaos.
She had turned an entire scandal into a storyline that no one could look away from. Even her critics admitted that she knew how to keep the spotlight right where she wanted it, on her. Then came the biggest shock of all. A blogger claimed that production executives were considering pulling Martell from the show entirely. Advertisers were allegedly threatening to pull funding, and meetings were being held to figure out how to contain the damage. One wild rumor even said that producers were thinking about giving Arionne her own limited series spin-off to tell her side of the story. The internet went into meltdown. Half the fans were furious, saying she didn't deserve a platform. The other half said it was her moment to finally speak her truth. For years, she had been silenced, labeled, and judged, and now she had all the power. Meanwhile, Arionne stayed quiet again. No posts, no statements, no interviews.